Welcome to D plus C Mctravels, and we're here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And we're getting ready to load on to the Serenade of the Seas to go on an Alaskan trip. Hey, join us on this adventure. And this is the ship we're on, Serenade of the Seas. It's gonna be a great trip. Vancouver. Canadian place. This is where all the ships load out of. So here we are. It's a Canadian place. This is where all the ships load up. As you can see, there's like 3 of them in port right now. Serenade of the Seas. There's another one up there, and I don't know what this one is here. It's huge, but you can see Vancouver in the background, and we're pretty excited to start this adventure. This is our first cruise ever, so we're ready to go. We just traveled from Ohio by car all the way to Vancouver, stopping to see many things on the way here, and now we're ready to take our adventure on to Alaska. Yeah, it's a zoo here. There's like 4 ships in right now. Maybe it's just three ships, I guess. And of course, it is World Cup time right now. There she is. Here he comes. He's coming in. We have touchdown. Bon voyage. Canadian place at the port of Vancouver.
After checking in and going through security, we're on our way towards the ship right now. It took about 40 minutes to get through security and check in. Not bad.
On to the ship. And we are on the ship. We're here.
As we enter into the ship, we step right into the atrium. It's beautiful. Here we have the elevators, beautiful colors, and you can see all the different floors of the ship. Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Sea measures 965 feet in length with a beam, the width, of 106 feet. The ship's cruising speed is 25 knots. The Serenade of the Sea has 13 decks total, with 12 of those accessible to passengers. The decks are numbered 2 through 13, with decks 7 through 10 primarily containing the ship's 1,074 staterooms. We will be staying on deck 7, right in the middle of the ship. Good accessibility to just about everything we need to go to.
Sky bar up there. Not a big pool, but enough to get you wet. Well, here's a model of the ship that we're on. Serenade of the Seas. It's outside of the schooner bar. This is going into the schooner bar. It's like a ship. Safari Club. This is our room. Nice king-size bed. We got a couch. Big mirror and everything over here. Bathroom. Nice big bathroom. Let's step out and check out the balcony. Well, here's our balcony. This is a huge balcony. Here we are, about 15 minutes before sail away. We're getting ready to roll here.
Here's a little history of Serenade of the Seas. It was built in 2003. It was last refurbished in March of 2025 as the third of the Radiant class Royal Caribbean ships that they have. As we said before, the Serenade of the Seas ship has a total of 1,074 staterooms for 2,148 passengers. Maximum capacity is 2,578. The ship is served by 860 crew and staff. The ship has 13 decks, 12 passenger accessible decks with 8 of the decks with cabins on, 12 lounges and bars, 2 swimming pools, 3 outdoor jacuzzis, whirlpools, hot tubs, and 9 elevators.
Here is everybody's room numbers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we took a hot
This is Mar, right? That's right there, right?
Yeah.
Wow, we really moved now.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody's made. We've seen everybody.
No, that's not us. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen everybody.
go. We're about out of here.
And just like that, as we leave the port of Vancouver, we can see the snow-covered mountains in the background as we head towards our adventure in the land of Alaska. As we steam into the sunset, tomorrow will be full of new adventures as we will be docking in Sitka, Alaska, and exploring that little town full of totem poles and lots of history. So I guess it's good night.
Good night, Alaska. Disembarking. We're in Alaska now. We made it to Alaska. I made it to another state. Only 2 more to go. A lot of shops here as you get off. And then you got to take a shuttle to downtown, and that's where we're heading right now. We're leaving the port, and we're heading to the town of Sitka, and we are on a bus, and we're on our way. We'll see you when we get to the town. Bye. Downtown Sitka, here we are, buses. It's a happening little place. It's hopping. We're heading on a mission for some chocolate mousse coffee, I guess. I have no clue. We'll find it. She's pointing right over here. Let's check it out. Christy just coming out of Highliner's Coffee. She just got her chocolate mousse coffee. How is it, better woman?
It's good.
What is it?
Peanut butter chai.
All right. She found a place.
Latte. Matcha latte? No. Something like that.
All right. That's what she wanted. First thing we got after we got off the boat. This is the walkway down to the national park. Many of Alaskans' fishing boats are family-run operations with the traditions passed down from one generation to the next. The livelihood of more than 1/3 of Alaskan towns are dependent on the fisheries. Seafood is Alaska's top export, accounting for half of Americans' fish produce by volumes and in value. The fish food industry is the largest private employer of the state, employing more than 20,000 people year-round and doubling the number in seasonal basis. The seafood industry is also Sitka's largest private sector employer. Approximately 30 million pounds of seafood is processed in Sitka each year, with the first wholesale value of up to 80 million. Here We have a fish ladder here for the salmon to go upstream into the Sitka Sound Science Center. A small fish ladder. Yeah, it's a little misty here, but at least it ain't raining hard. And this is the trail that we're going on. Walking back to the national park. It walks right alongside. As you can see, we're at low tide right now, but it looks like it's starting to come in. This will all be underwater shortly. Here we are, Sitka National Historical Park in Sitka, Alaska. Looking out over the bay. Tide's out, coming in. You can see some fishing boats going out. This National Historical Park has totem poles carved throughout it.
It's part of the history.
Part of the history is totem poles. As soon as we get ready to walk in, we got a couple of them right here. That's a big one there.
Here we have Tommy Joseph. He is a master tinglet woodcarver based out of Sitka, Alaska. He was born in Ketchikan in 1964. He is widely known for carving towering totem poles, bent wood containers, masks, and recreating the traditional tinglet armor. Tommy was the head carver for this 1999 totem pole located at the fort site in Sitka National Historical Park. Tommy's work extends far beyond Alaska. His carvings and replicated artifacts are on display in museums and private collections worldwide. Some of his most recognizable projects include the Catherine Pole, the Family Justice Center Pole, the Rainforest Warrior Pole.
It's a very colorful
Totem Pole Park.
at Totem Pole Park here in Sitka, Alaska.
June
All-
23rd.
All these
Carvings.
faces on these carvings have a meaning.
Tells about their culture, about a person sometimes.
We're on the Totem Pole Trail, brown bear habitat. Brown bears have been observed at close range in this area. Be careful, be aware, make noises as you go. Don't wear headphones, keep your kids close. Watch for bear signs. Here we go, this is beautiful, all these trees right here in Alaska. Sitka is known as a wetlands, rainforest. It's like a rainforest here. Like I said, it's pretty crowded here today, so it's gonna be tough to get a nice, quiet trail. It's pretty busy. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026, in the day of our Lord, and it is very nice out for this area. Here's another beautiful one. They're just very pretty, and the carving's just amazing to see that people can carve all this.
Well, we were talking to Tommy Joseph, one of the Native Americans from the area, and he was saying that he had this maybe a 3-foot carving that he was working on. It would take him 2 weeks to do all the carving, and it would take that long for the wood to dry. Then he could start adding the detail. He was also featured in the movie that we watched. So he is definitely from the area, and he's still here doing what he loves.
Got a top hat on the top of that totem pole. If you listen in the background, it might be a little hard right now because it is noisy, but you can actually hear the eagles flying through the sky. There's a whale on the top of this one.
What is it?
And of course, most of them do finish up with a bird.
Okay, so really totem poles were used to tell history, the person's history. It was very personal. Originally, some of the people would have them near their homes, and that indicated they were wealthy and they had prestige and whatnot. And the totem poles told events about their lives, but actually, totem poles don't really know. People don't really know exactly what they mean because they're very personal. The story of the history of that pole may have been long forgotten. It was sacred to the person who made it and for the clan members. So stories might have been so private that only the person who carved it understood the meaning of their pole.
Once again, the little dude with the hat on up top. Beautiful coloring.
Okay, so a little history here. There was a governor, last name Brady, in the early 1900s. I think he made friends with a lot of the chiefs and the tribes here, and so he really wanted to promote their culture and whatnot. So he took poles and took them to the World Fair, a couple of World Fairs, to gain interest. And so then eventually they brought him back to the homeland here, and Brady donated him back to the villages. And so now we see many of them displayed here, and it does tell lots of history, but there was some politics and some money behind all this. They wanted to gain tourism here, and these totem poles are really the calling card of Sitka. This is what they're known for, as opposed to some of the other sites that we're going to be looking at exploring the next few days. This site is known, Sitka is known for its totem poles, and also I think I read that Sitka was the first capital of Alaska.
Yes, it was.
It did change over time, but again, it's all about tourism and making money and the landscape. So there's just a little history of the totem poles in Sitka.
It's just hard to believe we're in Alaska. Never thought I'd ever make it here.
Huh.
Look at these beautiful trees.
They're stately.
Look at the squirrels.
Aw.
Got squirrels running down here in front of us.
Little.
Little brown squirrels.
I wish they had the history.
Look at this one here. It looks like we have some sort of crab
Yeah.
at the bottom.
A face.
Then we got
A woman.
a woman with, looks like wolf breast.
Yeah.
And then you got a guy up there, a couple fish holding a baby up at the top.
Again, the history behind it is personal, so we don't know all the significance of it.
Right, there's a frog.
Yep.
This one's right out in the open.
So, do you guys want to go back down to the water?
Very much out in the open. It's colorful.
There's like a frog. It looks like an eagle at the very base.
Yep, the eagle. It's really crowded in this area right
maybe.
now.
See the teeth? Maybe
Yep,
like a
the beaver right there. Butterfly.
Yep. Serpent.
Serpent at the top.
Towards the top, and the very top is a coyote, maybe, or I don't know. This is a new fort site that they built, that the Kick City built to defend themselves against the Russians, because they predicted they would probably return, and they did return. They were able to defend this fort for about 6 days, but the Indians, Native Americans were running low on ammunition, so in the dark of night they left again and marched toward north to Peril Strait.
Once again, this is the totem pole that was put up.
Carved by Tommy Joseph, who we met today. A much older version of the one that we saw on that plaque. And this is really sacred ground for both the Tlingit tribe and the Russian sailors and the Aleutian Indians.
This piece is missing out of the beak of the raven. This representing where one of the Russian swords hit the raven in the beak.
So in 1999, the special pole that we showed you previously, that was in the open area, was dedicated to the area. And you had representatives from Russia, and you also had the chief leaders of the Kick City clan who wanted to honor their fallen leaders who fell in the war in 1804. And Tommy Joseph, who we met earlier, yep, he helped notch or helped create this pole, and it is really like a peace pole. In 2004, a peace ceremony occurred, and descendants from early Russian leader joined this long elders of the tribe for a reconciliation ceremony.
As we continue on our little trail, yes, that was where Sitka's Native Americans made a fort to battle the Russians. They stayed there until the second time. They stayed there until they ran out of ammunition, and then they just had to abandon it in the middle of the night, and Russia took over. But that totem pole was put there in memory of their fort. 3.
So who will keep this land? Well, as we can see, the Russians came in, attacked in, I think, 1802, 1804, and then by 1820, the Native Americans came back by 1820, and so they had some skirmishes along the way, and obviously, like any war, a lot of death and blood and yuck. But today, there are many Russian Americans on Sitka, and the Native Americans, many are still here, still living their life as with their culture and their customs as best they can.
Continuing our little walk. I think it's about a mile round trip. I'm not sure. We'll have to check it when we get back, but it's very enjoyable. It's quiet, except for when you get away from all the people. You know, it is tourist season, but it's not too bad.
Oh, you can hear eagles. See it? Hear it? Listen. You can hear them. Can't see them yet. You can hear those eagles. You hear them. They found their nest in the bowl.
This river feeds the forest. It's been a food source for the people and animals for millenniums. Salmon, bears, and other wildlife drew the people to settle along the banks. This is one of the two major churches here in Sitka, St. Peter's by the Sea Episcopal Church. This church opened and was established on Thanksgiving, 1896. 1896 is when this church was opened, and it's still an active church. Sunday, Wednesdays. Nice stained glass up there.
Didn't realize it's a former Russian orphanage. More history we have to learn more about. Okay, so these are the grounds where the Russian and Native Alaskans took their first steps towards reconciliation, and this is the bishop's house. And in the bishop's house here lived some students, Linglet students and natives, and Creole, which is a mixed ancestry of men, who were studying to become Orthodox priests. The Russian priests in Alaska learned the native language so they could teach the children how to read and write in their own language. The Native Alaskans found that there's lots of similarities between their customs and ceremonies and the Russian traditions and beliefs, and that allowed these clans to continue to practice their native traditions in a Christian world, and helps explain why the Orthodox Church in America is strong today in Alaska.
This is St. Michael's Russian Orthodox Catholic Church. We are the Sitka Greek Orthodox Church.
Constructed between 1844 and 1848, the Cathedral of St. Michael's is the principal representative of a Russian culture influence in the 19th century in North America. From 1840 till 1872, Sitka was the seat of the Russian Orthodox Diocese, which governed all of Northern America, and therefore it continued as the seat of the Diocese of Alaska. This is an outstanding example of a Russian church architect and was by far the largest and most imposing religion in Alaska until well into the 20th century. This present cathedral is a reconstruction of the original building, which burnt to the ground in January of 1966. After the cathedral burned in 1966, it was reconstructed using drawings made in 1961 by Historical American Building Surveys. The object during reconstruction was to create a replica of the original structure while incorporating modern fire-resistant materials in the building. Today, the building is constructed of concrete and steel walls with vinyl siding, recreating the original texture with asphalt roofs and shingles and copper roofing on the dome. This Russian Orthodox Church is still an active church. During their services, they still stand during the entire service. Sometimes these services could last 1 to 4 hours. In the Russian Orthodox Church,
The cross with Jesus hanging from it has a bar underneath his feet. To the left, that bar is the symbol of the good thief. To the right, the symbol is for the bad thief. Baranof Castle, State Historical Site, Alaska State Parks. We're heading up. Baranof Castle this hill is among the most important landmarks in Alaska. 3 eras of Alaska's history are represented by the people. Indigenous, Russians, and Americans who claimed to have occupied the hill. Proper pronouncement was Tinglet. Tinglet. We got some steps to walk up. This is Castle Hill.
After decades of rule, Russia sold Alaska to the United States, which really wasn't theirs to sell because they didn't really own it. The Native Americans did, but anyways, that happened on October 18th, 1867. A transfer ceremony took place at this site. Here, an American flag was raised over Alaska. 92 years later, Alaska became the 49th state of the Union. I think it was 1959, and it flew over this hill. It was one of the first American flags with 49 stars, and this place is often called Castle Hill. This hill, another interesting, I guess, fact to know about the hill, it was once practically an island during the high tides. It made it an ideal and highly defensible site valued by 3 different nations. Here's where the course of Alaska's history changed, on this hill.
Up we go. I knew this was a few steps up here to Castle Hill. But, hey, gotta break everything in, this old body.
It's breaking down.
Yeah. We'll just take a stop.
It's a pretty steep hill, I have to say.
At this time, we're proceeding upward still, but we can see light at the top of the hill. Up we go.
Almost there.
At this point, we have about 6 more steps. This is where we came from. Down there.
Castle Hill, also known as the American flag raising site, the hill provided a commanding view over the city, its historical site of the Tlingit and Russian forts, and is located where Russia, Alaska, was formally handed over to the United States in 1867. It is also where the 49th star of the United States flag was first flown after Alaska became a state in 1959.
This is the site where the United States purchased Alaska from Russia. This is where they signed all the paperwork. In 1860, Russian-American company RAC, which managed the Russian colonies in Alaska, was losing money, so Russia decided to sell its American territory. On March 30th, 1867, U.S. Secretary of State agreed to Russia's ambassador. They proposed to purchase Alaska. President Andrew Jackson signed a treaty on May 28th, agreeing to pay $7.2 million for Alaska, 2 cents an acre. On October 18, 1867, at 11 a.m., representatives from the U.S., Russia, and the RAC arrived in Sitka on the USS Osprey. At 3 p.m., 150 Russian troops in flat glazed caps and dark uniforms trimmed in red assembled on and in front of the governor's house. 200 American troops marched up the hill to the beat of their own drums. Part of this agreement was anyone that lived in the Alaskan territory had their choice to go back to Russia or become U.S. citizens. The Prospector. That's what started out here. People moved out here to prospect gold. As we get ready to set sail here and leave Sitka, they have a nice area right here, a shop, as you get ready to go out on the ship. And we return to the ship this way. Well, after a nice day here at Sitka, it's time to go. So we are getting ready to get back on the Serenade of the Seas and head to our next destination.
Dinner.
Dinner, that's right, dinner. And then tomorrow, we're going in to see some glaciers.
Juneau.
And then we are going to Juneau, and we're going to see some more glaciers there. So, hey, this is D plus C Mctravels. We're signing out for today here at Sitka, and we'll see you later. Bye. Well, we're back on the ship, and it's actually clear enough we can take some videos here.